Amir swings the baton at 82 feet per second, delivering a strike of 2,373 pounds of force. The nightstick Amir is using is a standard police baton made of hardened nylon that flexes on impact. Yet it delivers over a ton of force. Easily enough to break both the ulna and the radius bones in the forearm. The strike hits both bones across their weakest axis. This injury could be debilitating. The victim would have no chance of escape. The crew repositions the dummy for the next test, but now its arms are extended forward, in line with the angle of attack, the angle that experts recommend for self-defense.
Okay, Amir, is this basically how someone should react when someone comes at him with a bat?
About, yes.
Okay, so kind of in this position.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, you ready, Amir?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, strike.
Once again, Amir swings at 82 feet per second, but the data is strikingly different. Because of the angle of the arm, he deals the dummy only a glancing blow, with a measured impact of only 200 pounds of force, 1/10 the force of the initial strike, and not nearly as likely to break bones. The club then slides down the side of the arm and is deflected away from the body. It's pure physics and geometry. The defensive move gives the defender a chance to escape.
Okay, I think we can see pretty clearly it's a lot different, right?
The concept is, again, to close the distance, you deflect and redirect the attack.
So we're talking the difference between having an abrasion or a scratch versus a broken arm. Well, that's great information to know, because I never would have thought of that.
But what if the attack weapon is a gun? It's a common attack scenario, and one of the most terrifying. Out of nowhere, a gun to the back.
When the attacker has a gun, it's a very dangerous situation. You should only fight back when you have no choice, and you must know there are things you can do.
Is there a way to disarm an assailant in this dangerous situation?
Okay, everyone, we're going to show a defense against a threat with a gun to my back. We are using a real gun with some ammunition rounds. So it's extremely dangerous. The set turns into a hot range now. I want to see everyone putting the safety glasses on now.
Jonathan Dugas will serve as the bad guy in this scenario. He'll be using simunition rounds. These are training cartridges that fire a non-lethal, but sometimes painful die marker instead of a metal bullet. Amir will try to disarm his attacker without getting shot.
Stay down, on your stomach.
He took control of the situation. But how did he do it? Slow motion reveals the secret behind Amir's incredible takedown. First, he decides which hand his attacker is using to hold the gun and turns inward, taking his body out of the line of fire. This allows him to control the arm holding the gun. Amir then seizes the weapon and uses the gun itself as leverage against the attacker's wrist and trigger finger. Amir's expertise even allows him to reverse the gun and use it himself. For the average person, the goal is to wrench the gun free and get away fast. The entire exchange takes under 5 seconds.
On your stomach!
It's clear that physics, physiology, and training can help you defend yourself, turn an everyday object into a weapon, and even turn the tables on an armed assailant. But what if there was a way to actually predict an attack and prevent it from happening altogether? Awareness is the key to self-defense. It always seems to happen when people are the least prepared for it. They may be on their way home from work, or returning to their car after shopping. Suddenly, their life is in danger.
Give me the car keys. Give me the car keys. Don't play with me. Give me the car
You
keys.
can take it.
The first step in self-defense is exactly as simple as it sounds. Pay attention. Experts call it situational awareness.
Situational awareness means being more aware of your surroundings. You know where you are, you look around, and you recognize a potential danger. You can react earlier, and you can actually deal with it much better.
To show how situational awareness really works, sports physiologist David Sandler has devised an experiment. We'll compare the awareness levels of a self-defense expert to those of an average Joe. Fight science director John Brinkus.
Every day we wander around, unaware of our surroundings, and leave ourselves vulnerable to attack. So we have John, who represents sort of the average, ordinary, everyday person.
For him, detailed awareness comes very low on his list of priorities.
I think that I'm like the typical person where I'm not paying particular attention to any one thing. I'm usually on my cell phone and usually just sort of occupied in my own thoughts.
And we have Amir, who has over 20 years of martial arts experience, 3 years in the Israeli military, and has been teaching self-defense for over 15 years.
For Amir, awareness is second nature.
Well, naturally is to pay more attention to your surroundings, meaning where you are, who is around you. I must stress not to confuse being alert with being alarmed. It's not as if I'm paranoid and I'm looking for attacks. No, I'm just more aware of where I am.
To illustrate how careful perception can be the difference between life and death, Joshua Yakuban from Applied Science Laboratories outfits both subjects with an eye tracker. It will reveal everything they're looking at and what they're not.
All right, so John, while you're getting fitted here, the plan is we're going to have you go for a little stroll, and we're going to see what happens as you're taking your walk.
So this is seeing exactly what I'm saying.
This is seeing exactly where you're looking.
All right.
The objective of this demonstration is to illustrate the difference between an expert situational awareness and the untrained eye of an average Joe.
All right, so John, we want you to walk up the stairs over there, walk down and around, and come back down the stairs and come back to us.
All right, I'm gonna be on my cell phone like I always do.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
Go.
Right away, John is too focused on walking to the stairs to notice the two threats to his left. The eye tracker records what John is looking at, but there's a big difference between looking and actually seeing. His sight lines are erratic, and although he's generally aware of his surroundings, he's not focusing on key details that could alert him of a possible threat. Now, Amir's trained eye will be put to the test.
As I walk through, I may prevent a situation just by seeing few steps ahead.
Amir's eyes sweep back and forth in an organized pattern.
I add the element of deterrence. I don't seem like a victim. If a potential threat do come up, I know how to react faster and better because I was able to spot it a fraction of a second earlier.
The difference between what John and Amir saw is striking. The eye-tracking software reveals that John glanced at his subjects, but he paid more attention to obstacles in his way. Amir's perception was radically different. He scanned each subject thoroughly, looking for small details that would indicate a threat level. By just being aware, one can increase reaction time by 300%.
Looking at the waistband, looking at the arms, I'm looking for some bulge or protrusion, something outstanding or suspicious.
It could mean the difference between life and death.
I didn't see anything really that Amir saw. I was just concerned with getting to where I was going. If this was a real-life scenario and if any one of these guys was a threat, it absolutely did not register with me, not because I'm not capable of recognizing it, but because I'm not trained to look at the world that way.
So step one in self-defense is situational awareness and avoiding trouble before it happens. But what do experts do when trouble finds them? And they have no choice but to fight back.
Give me the car keys. Give me the car keys. Don't play with me.
Their first enemy isn't even the bad guy. It's their own mind and their own body. It's called the fight-or-flight response. And it can either make them victims or fighting machines. The body's first reaction to a threat is in the brain. The hypothalamus region alerts glands in the body to the potential danger, which instantly flood the bloodstream with stress hormones like adrenaline. These hormones increase respiration and heart rate. Some blood vessels throughout the body constrict, limiting blood flow to less vital areas. Others dilate, sending nutrients and oxygen to the largest muscles like the quads, triceps, and calves to prepare them for action. Attention to hearing decreases, pupils dilate, and vision narrows, focusing on the threat. The physiological change is literally a transformation of mind and body.
Give me the car keys. Give me the car keys. Don't play with me.
The critical question is, will he shut down or defend himself? Instead of running, he chooses to fight back.
When you're attacked, adrenaline pours into your system. Through knowledge and experience, you learn to use it to your advantage.
Data shows that harnessing this adrenaline can actually increase a person's reaction time by over 100% and strength by more than 300%.
Through training and understanding, you can move from a passive state to an aggressive state without hesitation. Stay down, stay down, stay down!
So being aware of one's surroundings and understanding how to use the body's natural reaction to a threat are key in self-defense. But what about an unseen attacker? It's one of everyone's worst nightmares. It's no accident that criminals often choose the cover of night or dimly lit areas such as a parking garage to attack their prey.
Criminals choose to attack in the dark because it's easier for them to sneak up on their victims, and later it's harder for them to be recognized.
We wanted to know if fighting blind is really possible. To test this attack scenario, we've asked our self-defense specialist Amir Peretz to wear an assortment of special sensor modules. It may look ridiculous,
The things they do for science.
but the data could save lives.
What I've done is we put 12 different sensors on your body right now, and what we'll be able to tell from those sensors is how fast your arms are moving, how fast your legs are moving, how much power you're generating.
It's called the FAB system, which stands for Functional Assessment of Biomechanics. This network of three-dimensional sensors will track Amir's body movement in real time, so the scientists can analyze the exact dimensions of his reactions.
Okay, we're all calibrated out. So we're going to simulate this attack. So I think we're going to make it a little more challenging, right?
Yeah, we're not going to make it that easy for you. We'd like to see you do it with a blindfold on.
This is exactly the test that is most realistic, because self-defense means that you start in a point of disadvantage.
Playing the aggressor is mixed martial arts fighter Sam Shade. We brought in a pro because Amir will be fighting back. For real.
Okay, Amir, in order to get our best numbers, we want you to be able to go out as hard as you can on Sam. So we've put a protective suit on Sam because we want you to be as realistic as possible in terms of the moves that you make when you counter his attack. So, David, you want to go ahead and put the blindfold on him?
So we're taking away your primary sense here. This should be quite interesting.
When you're attacked in the dark and your vision is limited, you must rely on different senses in order to protect yourself. If it's through touch, if it's through hearing and feeling where the attacker is.
Amir has no idea where the attacker will be coming from or what he'll do.